Welcome back to MCC Connects. I'm happy to welcome into studio Marika Hamilton. Marika, you are the Registrar at Middlesex Community College.
I am.
And you're fairly new to it. You've only been here a year and a half?
Almost 2 years come December.
What does the Registrar do? What is the job of the Registrar of a college?
In my position, what I am is the keeper of the records. So when I say that, a registrar protects the educational records of students through FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So any student that's entering post-secondary education.
What made you want to be a registrar?
I guess the field found me. I wouldn't say I went out to look after being a registrar. I started off working in entertainment, and I used to sing and dance, and I started doing bookings behind the scenes. And I said, you know what, I want to hone my management skills, so this is what I went to school for. I graduated from management. So I said, let me look into another field. I went through a temp agency, and they landed me a job at Mass College of Pharmacy. It was my first gig, if you will. And I started working in the front line of a registrar's office. And at that point in time, I said, you know what, I don't want to just print transcripts. I don't want to just do letters of verification and room scheduling only. I want to continue to hone my skills and move up. And I moved up to assistant registrar, and I like that. So then I moved to associate registrar and said, you know what, I don't want this to be the end for me. So I continued growing and came to Middlesex to be registrar.
It takes a lot to get a college ready for school. What do you do over the summer to prepare for the onslaught of students come the day after Labor Day?
So we have what are called Getting Started registration sessions, and those begin in April. So students will come and they'll attend a Getting Started registration session for new students. We also have transfer student registration sessions, and we have returning student registration sessions.
Bring us through the first week of school for a commuting student at a community college.
So the first week of classes would be considered our add drop period. The first day of classes, or opening day, is before the first day of classes. There are different activities that are going on for the students to attend, and we have advisors that are running the activities. We have student activities that have different events that are going on, different clubs that students can attend. So there's quite a bit going on for students to become engaged, because as a commuter student, you're not staying on campus, and it's important that we get you engaged and that we retain you throughout the course of their academic career while they are here. But during the first week, what they will end up doing is adding classes. If they need to be a full-time student, there are some students that might attend a class and say, I don't really want to take that class, so they might drop their classes, but that's throughout the first week of classes, and they'll come in and they'll meet with an advisor, and after they seek advisement, they'll register for classes, and they'll attend and find their syllabus and get accustomed to working around the campus.
Books are a big discussion these days. It's actually at the national level where the biggest complaint among college students is the cost of books.
Yes.
What are some of the options that the students have as opposed to buying books?
Some students actually rent books, if that would work for them. There are students that have financial aid and they have book vouchers, and they'll go to the bookstore, they'll use their book voucher. The book voucher isn't enough, it doesn't cover their books, because there are some books that are really expensive. I know there was one student, for instance, that had come in this add drop period, and she had used her book voucher. She still had anatomy and physiology books that were like $213 for the bundle, and she needed to get some other type of money to be able to assist, and she had 3 other kids at home. She didn't have the money for it. So what does she do? Would she drop her classes? No, we don't want her to have to do that. So we put her in contact with the appropriate individuals that she needed to speak with, and she got some additional money for her vouchers, because it is an ongoing issue for students. But there are students that will rent, or they'll try to share with other classmates.
Electronic books, are those cheaper?
It depends, and it depends on what the faculty member is allowing for the class. So it depends if they have it posted on Blackboard. They might allow them to pull something electronically from there. But I've heard many students saying that they are renting their books at this point in time.
The Bedford campus is a campus that's a little bit isolated from the rest of the community, and they have plenty of parking. What's the parking like in Lowell?
In Lowell, we have garages that you park in, and it can be a little bit challenging depending on when your class is. If you're coming right here at 8:30 for a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, your best bet is to get here earlier so that you are going to get the parking, a good parking space for you.
The Lowell campus, we have one little parking lot out in front of the city building. That is reserved for 30-minute parking and deans. So that's very limited. It's for people to just come by, stop for a minute, and leave. Other than that, we have the John Street Garage, Davison Garage, your other garages, and they all have validation. You get your ticket from the parking garage, and then you validate it in the machine in the front office here. The Lowell Locks Garage is not included in that, but until after 4 p.m. And then you can park there and have it validated in the city building and the front reception desk there. In the Bedford campus, there's more parking on campus. Still limited and still not capable of handling the entire student body here. So we have the overflow parking is in the VA parking lot. It's approximately a mile down the road from the campus, and the school runs shuttle buses on a regular schedule back to class.
Middlesex Community College has a large international population. What are the numbers now for our international students?
For international students that are considered international students, there are about 50 international students. And we have a variety of registration sessions for that population because there are different regulations that they have to follow. They have to maintain their 12 credits, which is a full-time status for an individual. So we actually have an international flag hold that I have placed on their records so that, and it's in order to protect them. We don't want them to drop below those credits and to bring anything against themselves unnecessarily. So we put this extra precautionary effort into place just to ensure that they're not dropping below. But there is a special Latino registration and an Asian registration session that we have set in place.
Do most of the international students start at Middlesex intending to go on to a four-year school?
From my experience in speaking with some of them, I actually was advising one the other day that had come into the Bedford site, and he wanted to work in human services and social work, and his intention was definitely to move on and seek a four-year degree.
All right. Well, Marika Hamilton, welcome to Middlesex Community College.
Thank
welcome
you.
to MCC Connects. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of MCC Connects. Stay tuned each month for a new episode so that you too can stay connected to Middlesex Community College.